It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 7 knee-jerk stream. There might be some stuff to talk about tonight. My team is in the absolute mud. Well, actually, it doesn't look too bad for next week, to be honest. But points-wise, absolutely terrible. I've had 2 returns the entire game week in Burmo, Solanke, a red card as well for Bruno Fernandes. I was on 28 points about an hour ago, or sorry, about 10 minutes ago when I was setting this stream up. Now I'm on 26 because Saka's had 2 bonus points removed. It was just terrible. I don't know what more I can say. It was one of the worst wildcard weeks ever. I don't agree with the chat that it needs another wildcard. Absolutely not. I think it looks perfectly reasonable for next week. But it's gone bad, and sometimes that happens. And then to top it all off, Bruno Fernandes gets a red card. Like, what can you do about that? I think that's his first red card for Man United. And I think what made it worse... Hang on, I need to turn the music down a sec because it's banging in my ears and I can't hear myself think. What made it worse is any other player that I'd considered for that position, like Eze and Diaz, had blanked. They hadn't got any points. So I'm going into the penultimate game of the game week thinking anything from Bruno Fernandes here, anything, even an assist, would be a nice start to the wild card for him. But he goes and gets a red card in the first half. And I know some people saying it wasn't a red, but I think it was a pretty dodgy tackle. I know he slipped, but I think he could have stopped what he did. And so I think it's probably fair. I don't think it'll get overturned. I don't think it'll get reduced in terms of the ban. I think it'll probably be out for 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm not really sure what more there is to say. Like Raya blank, like conceding 2 goals to Leicester, who put up 0.27 expected goals. Obviously James Justin, amazing. Lewis 2 points, Trent 1 point, yellow card. Saka 3 points, blanked in a 4 goal game for Arsenal. When Burmo scored, guy's a legend, but everyone's got him at this point. Captain blank for Haaland, 1 point for Calvert-Lewin. And then 1 goal for Solanke and no bonus. It was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. And, of course, I've got Rodgers on the bench, which I knew would be pain as soon as I benched him for Ipswich, but I guess it's nice to have him. I'm glad that I didn't panic after 4 game weeks worth of blanks. But yeah, it's just terrible. But the good news is the team looks good for next week. Even if Bruno is out and I don't want to sell him. And by the way, when I say I don't want to sell him, it's because I've only got 1 free transfer. There's not too many places to go. I'd almost rather bank another transfer and deal with him with 2 transfers next week. So there is a chance that I keep him and just play Rodgers instead. But for anyone that hasn't seen it, Rodgers went off just after the 60th minute, and he's apparently got a tight hamstring. So we'll have to see if he's even available. Because if he's not, then I'm potentially in trouble. Might have to take a hit. So we'll see. You need to show your overall rank and overall points on the side of the stream like you used to. It's above my head. It scrolls like it has done every single game week since the season started. Yeah, I think that just to address the Bruno, I'm not going to talk about all stream because it's going to get very boring. But this idea that I've got an obsession with Bruno is so strange. There was about 50 comments on my deadline stream after he got a red card. Like I'm not sure I'm the one with the obsession, and it's worth pointing out that the player that everybody wanted me to get was Diaz. He blanked. He didn't do anything. So I think it's a little bit strange that people are still clinging to this narrative. I get it that Diaz has smashed Bruno Fernandes for points this season, but the wild card was another starting point essentially, and Diaz did nothing. So I wouldn't. Of course, I would have been up on 4 points because of the red card, but what am I supposed to do about that? It's a red card. So. Anyway, I'm happy to move on. If you want to just talk about Bruno Fernandes for the rest of the stream, we can definitely do that. If you didn't have Palmer this week, it was a struggle. Yeah, Cole Palmer, 4 goals. The first player to ever score 4 goals in the first half of football. Absolute ridiculous. And I did have a Palmer draft at one point, and I would have had Palmer instead of Fernandes, but I don't think I was ever going to go for it because I would have had to downgrade Trent and Solanke to make it work, to be honest. Someone did call it in the deadline stream that Raya would get a 1-pointer. Of course, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? After we spent so long trying to figure out if he was going to play. I think that I'm quite glad that I've got double Arsenal defence now. I don't think I'll be moving that on anytime soon. Is Foden coming into my thoughts? Probably not. He didn't start again this week. I mean, he probably will start going forward, especially if De Bruyne is out. But it would take a hit for me to get him in. So I'm not sure I really need to do it. Yeah, Brennan Johnson's a good pick. Look, I can probably talk about it a little bit more on team selection, right? But this is my team for next week, okay? And this is why I'm not particularly worried about the wildcard. The team looks great for next week. Honestly, apart from Bruno, I've got Rodgers. So it's not really a massive problem. I've got Raya in goal with Gabriel. So double Arsenal defence against Southampton, which I think most people would agree is fine. Rico Lewis against Fulham at home. Obviously, there's always going to be concerns every week about whether or not he starts. But if not, I've got Pinnock on the bench against Wolves at home. Trent against Palace away, who I'm sure most of you agree is not a problem. Then it's Mbeumo against Wolves at home, Saka against Southampton at home, Semenyo against Leicester away, and Rodgers against Man United at home. And if anyone watched the Spurs-Man United game, that is a good fixture for Rodgers right now. Haaland captain against Fulham at home, Solanke against Brighton away, and then Calvert-Lewin against Newcastle away. There's not really anything wrong with it. And with one transfer, I don't really know where I go for Bruno Fernandes. I've got no money in the bank. I'm not going to buy Luis Diaz, because if I was going to do that, I would have done it last week before Wolves. Now he's got Palace away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away. It's not a great run. Brennan Johnson is definitely in my thoughts, because Spurs' run from 8 onwards in particular is good. And obviously Brighton have just conceded 4 to Chelsea as well. if I'm ever going to get Palmer, it probably is in that Bruno Fernandes spot. And so if I get Brennan Johnson in, I'm then using a transfer, and then I've got one less to try and get Palmer in later on. So I think I either take a hit, but that hit would be to take Trent out, and basically to do Fernandes to Palmer or Son, I would have to take a hit this week to get rid of Trent before Palace away, and that hit would also be benching Rodgers. So it just doesn't feel worth it. I've not really got too much interest in Anthony Gordon because I don't really like Man City's fixtures, but I do agree with people that are saying like Isak being out means he'll play up front, he'll be on penalties as well. That is quite nice. What are the next two fixtures for? I know overall they're not great, but I think the next two might be okay. Let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, Everton away, Brighton home, pretty good, but then it's Chelsea away, Arsenal home. Like that's a very short-term move. I don't think it's worth it. Like, there's going to be some big decisions to be made soon. Like when Arsenal's like slightly trickier fixture on 9 to 11, I'm going to want Palmer in. I might want Son in. Like Salah might need to come in at some point. To get these players in, I'm going to need transfers. And messing around with Fernandes to Gordon and using up a transfer is probably not worth it. Yeah, my team is fine. I'm generally not worried about my team whatsoever. And when Bruno Fernandes got red carded, I just had to laugh. Honestly, I found it quite funny. It would have been way worse if Bruno had got a 2-pointer and Diaz had got a hat-trick and everyone was like miles ahead. But because Diaz blanked anyway, who was the other player that I was looking at, and Eze as well, like when it happened, I was like, I just can't believe that's happened. But it is just quite funny. Palmer doesn't need an easy game to bag. I mean, he's got good fixtures, of course, for the most part. But it's a hit. And it's a hit to take Trent Alexander-Arnold out before Palace away. That just doesn't sound great when you say it out loud. So, right now, I think I'm probably going to roll or take a hit. But we'll have to see. I don't think there's anything wrong with Semenyo. Not that I've seen anyway. I was on a Salah draft and I have Saka and Palmer. I then wildcarded this week to a Haaland draft with double Arsenal defence. Yeah, sucks. There's going to be a lot of people that have spent all season without Haaland until this week and have captained him and they've got him for his first blank. Like, FPL just sucks sometimes. Mohammed, new member, thank you. I had Vardy, Gordon, Salah, Jota, Watkins before wildcard. Ouch. Ouch. I mean, I didn't even need to wildcard. I've said that before. I'll be up on points and I would have played Rodgers this week. It's just, I don't know. It's just terrible. It's just not gone well. Bruno to Maddison. Again, I don't mind Maddison. Here's the thing, right? For everyone saying, like, get Johnson, get Gordon, get Maddison. In a couple of weeks or a few more weeks of Palmer doing really well, you're going to be telling me to get Palmer. Again, Palmer has to go in that spot for Bruno Fernandes. I could sell Saka, potentially. But I'm probably going to want Saka back for game week 12. I also think that Son, if he's fit, is a consideration as well. Because Spurs fixtures do get pretty good now. I mean, we've missed one great fixture against Man United. I will say this. I was actually a little bit disappointed in Spurs that they only scored 3 goals up against that Man United team. I think they put up 5 XG. And I'm sure I've seen a tweet going around saying that Spurs have put up more XG at Old Trafford this season than Man United. Here's another stat for you. And I'm saying this with Bruno Fernandes in my team. No team has scored less goals than Man United in the Premier League this season. Even bottom of the table Wolves have scored 6. Man United have scored 5. Like, Ten Hag, like what? How much longer can he really survive? Absolutely insane. This feels like one of those game weeks where the players that did badly will do well next week. I tweeted this earlier. There's going to be lots of swings like this. There's going to be lots of swings. And there will be people out there that wildcarded this week, but they put Palmer in, and fair play to them. They're absolutely smashing it this week. And they don't have Bruno to go with it. Palmer scored more than Man United. Yeah, sounds about right. Would you switch Diaz to Palmer and Watkins to Wood for a -4? I just wouldn't take a -4 for it, I don't think. The thing with Cole Palmer, and I know this is going to sound really stupid because like he's absolutely smashed it in like for most of the season, right? Well, it's only 6 games, I know. But the fixture, I don't know. It feels like if I roll this week and then use 2 transfers to get Palmer in next week, I'm taking a hit to bring him in before Liverpool away. Doesn't sound good. But 3 of the next 4 are great. Like Forest at home, Newcastle at home, Man United away. Those 3 fixtures look really good. So it probably is still a good move to bring him in. And I also think in game week 12 and 13, he's potentially a captain as well. And then you got Southampton away too. And then the fixtures afterwards are amazing. Honestly, there is part of me that just wants to take the hit and just get him in now and just leave him in. Like, apart from Arsenal at home in 11 and Liverpool away in 8, which, to be fair, are 2 of the next 5 fixtures, like, what game are you worried about with him? There is a big part of me that thinks just take the hit and get it over with. It just doesn't feel good taking Trent out. That's all. I'd have to get a 4.6 million defender as well, which means Gabriel is basically it. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's so easy to say, well, a hit's just a good move, but I don't think it is. Like, Trent could get a big haul on his own against Palace, you know? Yeah, people say fixtures don't matter, but he's not scored in he's not scored in half the games he's played in this season. So, like, I know it's like, here's the thing, right? He got 4 returns in game week 2 or whatever it was. Everyone was saying he was amazing. Then he didn't really do much after that. Not compared to what he's done this week. I even saw some people saying he was a trap. And now he's got like another 4 returns. All of a sudden, it's now crazy to go without him again. I don't think Palmer is knee-jerk worthy. In the upcoming fixtures, opponents won't play into our hand. Yeah, Brighton, I don't know what they were doing. Also, the Miss Van Heck as well. Like, to me, it's pretty clear. Palmer's a really good pick. Absolutely. And anyone wildcarding will definitely be looking at him. If you've got 2 moves or you can just get him for free, definitely look at him. But I don't think he's suddenly essential to the point where I have to rip my team up to get him in, you know? Fernandes for 7.9 million in game week 10 is a great buy. Chelsea at home, Leicester at home, Ipswich away, Everton at home. Yeah, probably. The eye test suggests he could seriously hurt most if all... Yeah, but that's the kind of thing people say after 4 returns, right? Nobody after game week 5 or game week 4 was saying, I'll tell you what, the eye test for Palmer suggests he's going to absolutely smash teams. Like, that's just something people say when a player gets 4 returns. And I'm not trying to talk people out of it. Palmer's great. You should go for him. You should bring him in if you want. But I don't think we should start saying that the eye test now proves that he's amazing when nobody was saying that after like a blank against Bournemouth, you know? Everyone is so reactionary in FPL. There's plenty of games left. In fact, after the Bournemouth game, people were saying like he actually wasn't that great. Like, he was isolated, didn't have much of the ball. They were starting to worry about him. So it just shows how quickly returns make a difference. Palmer is fixture proof, in my opinion, compared to Jackson. Yeah, I don't really agree with fixture proof. I don't think that's a thing, but I think he's good. Shakalaka Mecca anyway, 41 months. Thank you very much. Palmer feels like a trap. Last week we were saying that Maresca's team is less individualistic, which hinders Palmer's explosive. Yeah, people change the narrative depending on how many points have been scored. That happens every single week. I think Palmer is just good. There's nothing more to it really. What about Saka to Palmer? No hit. Is Saka essential? Saka's not essential, but it feels crazy to me to even think about selling him before Southampton at home. Obviously, if something happens in the Champions League and Saka picks up a knock, then we can talk about it. But the idea of doing Saka to Palmer this week, I mean, you could definitely argue that Palmer's better if you wanted to, but using a transfer to remove one of the best players in the game before Southampton at home, no, definitely not. Manchester City looks off it. What if Haaland is injured as well now? Again, City look off it. I mean, one game, he scored 9 goals in the 4 before that. We probably shouldn't panic too much. I will say this, though. Newcastle, extremely good, very well organised. And that front 3, especially, I thought Gordon was excellent in that game. I don't know who got man of the match for Newcastle. Presumably it was a Newcastle player. I thought Gordon was brilliant, not just because of the penalty, but the amount of running he did, the pressing from the front. He caused them so many problems. Newcastle just very good. Look, we spoke last week that City's win percentage without Rodri is a lot worse. They're still going to win a lot of games. I'm not sure we should worry too much. If Rodri and De Bruyne are going to be out for a while, maybe that does hinder Haaland a little bit. But let's see. What would I do if Haaland was out? Cry? Because I've just wildcarded and I've got 1 transfer. I'm not sure. A gut feeling is probably do something like Haaland to Watkins and then Fernandes to Salah, or probably not Salah actually, probably Palmer or Son. I mean, we need to wait and see if Son is back next week, but probably Palmer. Just take the hit. In that case, I would just take a hit. But I think Haaland will be fine because the injury happened in the first half and he played the rest of the game, right? Palmer was the best FPL player last season. Is he underrated? I mean, everyone's been chatting about him for the last 10 minutes in the chat, so I don't think he's underrated. No. I think this is just going to be a theme of this season that you can't... Like last year, it was very easy for most parts of the season to have Palmer and Salah and Haaland and Saka all at the same time. It's not as easy now. So you've got to pick your players and just roll with it. This week, if you had Salah and Palmer, absolutely laughing, right? But next week, who knows? Haaland against Fulham at home and Saka against Southampton at home, they might be the best too. But there's no point then next week saying, oh, do you know what? Maybe I should sell Palmer for Saka, right? It's just, I think at some point you've got to just hold your nerve and just hope for the best. And hopefully things get better next week. I've fallen from, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I've fallen from 1.3 million to 3.1. Absolutely mad. I love this guy. If Palmer can't get into the England team, can he really be that good? Good question. We won't get on to England chat too much, but Carsley's still going to have to leave someone good out because, in my opinion, Saka's easily best right winger. Then you got Rice, presumably Bellingham in midfield. You don't want Foden on the left, really. You want someone like Gordon. So then you've got to leave out one of Palmer or Foden at a minimum. And if Carsley doesn't want to play Bellingham deeper, it gets even more tricky. But I think Palmer's probably got to be in there if possible. He's amazing. Dwight McNeil, yeah, absolute legend. Two goals. Honestly, that guy is like, it's just typical FPL. Like, you're talking about him, you're saying, yeah, he's a pretty good pick, but most of his underlying numbers are skewed towards assists, right? He's on like 0.48 expected assists for the season per 90. And then he goes and bangs 2 goals. Absolutely crazy. Honestly, Bowen plays striker better than Kane. Come on. Now we're just talking nonsense. Bowen, by the way, is a consideration to sell Bruno for because he's got Ipswich at home this week. But buying a West Ham player doesn't really excite me all that much. Now, I don't agree that City made a mistake selling Palmer. Nobody expected Palmer to be this good. Not even Chelsea. Saka played amazing. Almost got 3 bonus with that and he returns. Yeah, hopefully he can get some actual returns, though, next time. That would be nice. Rashford in for Bruno, no chance. Honestly, Rashford was terrible today. Now, you could say that about pretty much every Man United player, but Rashford in particular... No, not in particular, that's harsh, but he was bad. You know who was good? Garnacho. He was one of the only players that came out of that game and I thought he actually did all right today. He's Man United's best attacker, I think. Yeah, you could probably argue that. I don't really want to get into a Man United conversation, to be honest. He should be playing. He should be playing on the left. Like, Rashford, I don't know, not great. And he pulled out of the tackle. I don't know, if you haven't seen it right, the first goal that Spurs scored, what a run by Van der Ven, by the way. Rashford, like, takes a heavy touch and loses the ball, and then he just pulls out from trying to tackle him. Like, it's mad. And then Van der Ven just runs through the entire Man United team. What's wrong? What is structurally wrong with Man United? Honestly, you'd need a tactico. I'm not that kind of person that could probably describe it to you, but for an idiot like me to talk about, I would say there's always a lot of space in like if Martinez or De Ligt have got the ball, there's not really anyone ever to pass to, and then even if they do get a pass off, the next pass is just not there. The build up is just there is no build up. Basically, they don't know how to build up from the back. Like, to me, as an idiot watching the game, they don't know how to build up. There's no passing routines. They're not in the right place. Whatever it is, right? You know, there's probably someone at most clubs that teaches that kind of thing. The press is not coordinated. So Fernandes and Xerxes are the front two. They would have been better with Fernandes and Mount, to be honest with you. Mount is a really good presser. But it's like the triggers aren't there. I think that's what most clubs would use. There was no pressure when Spurs had the ball either. Spurs were just much better. Like, all credit to them. They were much, much better coached. Much better. And James on Planet FPL put it perfectly a few weeks ago. And I'm like, I'm not. Don't quote me on, or don't quote him on this. But he basically said, out of all the teams who finished in the top 10 or top 8 last year, he has no problem playing Man United whatsoever. And he said Spurs will walk all over him. And that's exactly what happened. Like, that's how easy it is to play against Man United. No, teams are just not worried about them whatsoever. It's not even about having a style. I think this whole style of play thing, I get it, but there's just nothing. It's like they're not being coached at all. It's like they're being thrown on the pitch and just try and figure it out. And they're like allergic to keeping the ball as well. It's just not good. Anyway, we should stop talking about Man United. It's painful all around. You're holding on to Bruno and Eze like you did last year with Salah. But this is where all the nonsense comes, like you did last year with Salah. Like Salah was a bad pick, Now he's doing amazing. Sometimes players blank. Sometimes better to trust your eyes and cut your losses. Yeah, okay. Plenty of time to make up ground. 32 weeks left. Would you buy Haaland for Salah this week for Saka? 91 points. Nice. I mean, Haaland in is probably quite a nice player if you want to captain him, especially for Southampton at home in 9. I would rather have Haaland next 3 than Salah, put it that way. If something was going right at Ajax, but it ain't going right here. How long does Ten Hag left? Probably a little while. I don't think they'll sack him. Would Delap be a good choice to keep? If you've got Delap, they've got good fixtures coming up. No reason to go ahead and sell him, I would say. Only good thing at United is Garnacho and Onana. When they were the only 2 from today, at least. I think that's a bit harsh on Dalot and Martinez and De Ligt. I think generally that they're good players, but from today's game, Onana and Garnacho were the only ones that came out of it yet. Salah scored 200 points last season. I know, but this is the thing, right? If I hold on to a player for like more than 1 week and they blank, then I'm just obsessed with them. That's what people come up and say from. Like, Salah's like one of the best players ever in FPL. Like, even you can't hold on to too long. Who's taking the annual penalty against Villa now? Goofy is suspended. Rashford, presumably. Apparently, Man United wants Southgate, so don't expect anything to improve. I don't know. I think Gareth Southgate would be an improvement. Why don't you show us the price rise? They're scrolling through on the right. Saka dropped from 2 bonus to 1. Yeah. He was actually on 3. I should have listened. I went with Diaz over Palmer. Yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and say I told you so on Diaz. Diaz could absolutely smash it against Palace. I don't know. I just had a gut feeling with him. It wasn't the right time to pick him up. But it's not as easy as saying I should have gone for Palmer instead of Diaz, because you would have had to make a change elsewhere as well, right? I mean, I don't think anything can be worse than Ten Hag. So yeah, I think Southgate probably would be better. Oh, the price changes are frozen. Okay, sorry. Let me just fix that. Yeah, my bad. I'm just gonna fix it now. Let me just do this. All right. Hopefully it'll change now. Timber is a cheap way to buy yourself into that Arsenal defence. If he keeps playing. McNeil got 15, you took him off. Yeah, I went for Semenyo instead. Let's see what Semenyo does. If Palmer continues to perform the next few game weeks, would you completely restructure the team for him? I would think about... Well, it depends how many transfers you have to use, but if you can do it in like 2 or 3 and you've got 3 transfers, why not? Yeah, Timber can play both sides, but what's to say that at some point Ben White doesn't play right back and Calafiori left back? I think the minutes for Timber are looking pretty good. Is it worth the 0.5 saving over just going for a safer centre back pick? I'm not so sure about that. Luis Diaz is due to go up again. Doesn't surprise me. If you want to see the points, I had it on at the start. Feel free to go back and have a look at them. It's 26. Brereton, Diaz to Foden or in Burmo. Definitely in Burmo. Burmo is a great pick at the moment. Any players that aren't called Palmer that caught the eye this weekend? I'm not sure there's anyone that I thought I've got to get them in. Like obviously, Jota did well for Liverpool, but there's no way I'm bringing him in. Anyone at Arsenal, I feel like the decision's been made on them. Like you've got who... I guess if you've only got 2, you could still bring one in, but... Oh, the price change has gone totally. Let me just play this. Okay, it should work now. Yeah, Delap at 5.5 million. The thing with someone like Delap is... I think his XG is like 0.2 per 90 or so, which is not great. But even that, right, he's probably fine for a 5.5. Especially with the fixtures they've got coming up. But he's not a player that you're going to ever like look to transfer in unless you've got a major problem up front. Or if you want to downgrade someone to make... Like, let's say you wanted to do Solanke to Delap to fund a move for Palmer, then fair enough, right? Or you've got Havertz or Isak, Watkins, whoever it is. Or you're on wildcard and you want a cheap bench option. All perfectly fine. But most people who've got a decent enough forward line, like they're not going to be looking to bring Delap in. Not that exciting, really. Yeah, no interest in Leicester players whatsoever. Like Vardy might be okay for the upcoming fixtures. Explain. I honestly, the word obsession is just... I don't know if it's just me, but it seems to be getting used so much in FPL at the moment. Explain me the obsession with Haaland, the guy that scored like 9 goals or whatever it is this season. Not sure, to be honest. Don't know why people like him. I feel like this season has been a game for the eye test and not database players. Yeah, I mean, again, that's always said at the start of the season. Season's long. Brennan Johnson, yeah, like him. And his minutes should be pretty good as well. Like, Odebear's not there. They don't really have too... I mean, Kulusevski can play wide, but it's quite clear right now that Ange Postecoglou wants to keep playing him central, and he's doing really well. There's not really too much competition for Brennan Johnson, so I think he will just play quite a lot. I mean, when Odebear is back, maybe his minutes go down a little bit. But Brennan Johnson's someone that gets a lot of chances. He also hit the post today as well. Haaland's price tag criminality. Honestly, yes. Yeah, I don't think there's any point even addressing that. Like, if this was this time last week, no one would be saying a thing about Haaland. Again, it's very reactionary. It's very hindsight thinking. I didn't. And by the way, it's fine if you want to go without Haaland, but it's just very boring when you come in after a blank and say stuff like that. I didn't get McNeil because I have Calvert-Lewin. Is that the right thinking? I mean, I think not wanting to double up on Everton attacks probably fine. But in isolation, I think they're both good picks. P.S. Your Palmer drafts gave me the idea for him. Yeah, I wish I'd gone for it as well. That'd have been so much nicer. João Pedro to... Yeah, that's a good one, actually. João Pedro to Delap could work. But if João Pedro's back after the international break and you've got other players you can play instead, you could just bench him for a while. On the plus side, I highly doubt we're going to be damaged by Palmer this bad again. He literally got 4 returns in game week 2 or something. This is the second time he's got 4 returns in a week. So it's absolutely possible that he does it again. Isak replacements for a 1-week punt. I mean, Watkins against Man United, probably not bad. Depends how much money you've got to spend. Havertz against Southampton at home, probably the best one. Thoughts on doing this transfer right now? Salah to Diaz and Eze to Palmer for a -4. Do you think I should wait? I don't like that at all. I don't know. Diaz is probably going to score a hat-trick against Crystal Palace. I just feel like it's the wrong time to buy him. I think fair enough if you want to maybe slowly start coming off Liverpool players for a few game weeks, but I don't like that. It feels way too knee-jerk. I get the frustration with Eze. 1 return all season. I get it, right? Same with Fernandez. I'm not sure I would do that. Not for a -4. Getting rid of Salah for a -4 before he plays Palace. I don't even really want to do it for Trent. Have you decided on your Bruno replacement? I may just bench him. Because there's not too many players that I want in one move. Really. I guess what it comes down to, and like obviously this is a Sunday stream, the game week's only just finished, so I've not fully thought out all my plans. But basically, do I want Palmer or Son? If yes, it's probably just better to bench Bruno and figure it out next week with 2 free transfers. If I don't want them, then yes, maybe I'll move them to someone else. Who that is, I don't know. Brennan Johnson, Bowen. Probably not Diaz. As a Spurs fan, that was never a red card for Bruno. I don't know if I really agree, to be honest, but fair enough. On a different day, he scores a penalty for a handball. Yeah, I think if this was last season, that handball, I think, was it Romero or was it someone else? That probably would have been given, but not this season. So do I regret putting Bruno on the wild card? No. Sorry. No, yeah. No, I don't regret it at all. I hate points. Hate points. If Garnacho starts the next 2 games, would you take him in for United's nice fixture run? Yeah, well, I think... Yes. I personally think he should be in that 11. I think he should be nailed. Whether or not he will be, that's the only problem. Could Rashford and Ahmad start at some point? Yes, but I think Garnacho's got to be in that Man United 11. Thanks for answering my super chat on the deadline stream. Kept Porro instead of taking the -4 for Gabriel. Very nice. I wish Porro had blanked for you, but he didn't. What player is a good replacement for Smith Rowe? Do you need to get rid of Smith Rowe? I'd probably look to keep him. We got the break before game week 8, so 2 weeks. Yes. I'm looking forward. I was already looking forward to the international break. I'm looking forward to it even more now. I was just saying before the Man United game, I was chatting to some people. I was like, it's so easy. I'm just going to roll in game week 7 and then have 2 free transfers for game week 8 and then figure it out after the international break. And now I've got a red card to deal with. Yeah, wildcard in game week 8 could work depending on what your team is set up. I think 8 and 12 is probably the 2 windows that people will be looking at. I almost went for Raul Jimenez a bit. Annoyed that I didn't. So Raul Jimenez did score the penalty, but I think Marco Silva said after the game that penalty should have been Andreas. So it might. So Raul Jimenez looks like a very cheap option on penalties, but he's probably not going to be. My son's team's on like 100 points with Palmer triple captain. He didn't start till game week 4, so he's like ranked 9.6 million or something. He's loving it right now. He's like 7. I think he's 7,000 overall for people that started game week 4 or something like that. Who's the best long term, Solanke or Trent? I would rather have Solanke for the next few weeks than Trent, if it's only one or the other. Besides the players in my team, which players do you wish you had? I mean, it's easy to say Palmer now, isn't it? But honestly, there's not really too many players that I massively panic about not having. Like, obviously, having Watkins would be really nice. Having Palmer would be good. Having Son, if he's back, would be nice too. Vardiol would be good instead of Lewis. But I'm not looking at my team really in that much of a panic, I guess. And I'm already, by the way, straight away happy that I've got a little bit of a deeper squad because now I've got cover for Fernandes if I don't, if I want to wait till I've got 2 free transfers. Do I wish I started Rodgers over Calvert-Lewin? Again, no. I'd rather just get no points, to be honest with you. You had a rubbish week with wildcard. You got 34 points. Yeah. Try 26. Would I rather have Porro? No. Again, getting less points is fun. Who do Man United fans want as manager? Anyone. What are your expectations as a United fan, realistically speaking? Start to push towards top 4, maybe in the next year or 2. All template/AI teams getting smashed. Season for casuals. It's 6 game weeks. Let's come back to it in game week 38. People are all, like, the start of the season is always the worst for like super overreactionary. No, I'm not. That's not a word, is it? Reactionary? Yeah, overreactionary. Over the top reactions, maybe. That's what I'm trying to say. Kanate and Timber serious options going forward. Again, probably the wrong time to buy Kanate, but I appreciate I said that last week and now he scored. Eze had the same disappointing start last season as well, while Mbeumo was doing really well. Yeah, Mbeumo is definitely better right now. 100%. And to be honest, if we knew that Tony was probably going to be sold, I think a lot of people would have had Mbeumo in from game week 1. Like, he's that good for the price. Like, easily next year he'll probably be like an 8.5 million player. He should probably be the same price as Bruno Fernandes. 8.5 is probably a realistic price for him for what he offers. Is this week just variance? I mean, some people made some really good picks with Palmer, Salah, etc., and they got points. That's fair. Like, there's going to be weeks like this. You're not always going to have an amazing team. I had like 3-4 green arrows in a row, and now massive. I'm back down to where I started, basically. It hurts, but what can you do about it? You just got to keep going and hope for the best. Mbeumo won't play for Brentford next year. You're correct, yeah. Bruno's price should be less next season. Again, massive overreaction. Let's wait and see after 38 game weeks if he does similar to the last few seasons, which is possible. Probably not now if he's going to miss 3 games, though. Khaled, thank you. Back into the top 3.5k overall. 83 this week. Absolutely insane scoring. Thoughts on taking out Mazraoui and bringing in Leif Davis? Don't mind it because of Ipswich fixtures, but I probably wouldn't do it. I think Man United's fixtures from 8 onwards get a little bit better. Had Palmer as captain, now I'm number 1 in Ireland and 65th in the world. Very nice. Oh man, imagine how good that would feel. I bet that feels better than being ranked 3.1 million. If Rafinha came back to the league, what would his price be at, say, a Spurs? 7.5 probably? Can I afford Watkins and McNeil for Bruno and Calvert-Lewin? I'm not sure, but that's definitely not a hit that I would take. No chance. Again, I'd much rather save transfers to try and get in some premium players instead, or to move them around a bit. Who knows? Maybe I'll even sell Haaland eventually. Madueke in for Eze. As bad as Eze has been, I'm not sure I'll be that interested in switching him to Madueke. Don't think. I'm always worried about what time of the game Chelsea players are going to be brought off and stuff. Palmer against the high line is good. Forest will have a low block and play like they did against Liverpool. Possibly. But again, I just think Palmer's very good. And he's probably got a great chance of doing well in that game. Play Smith Rowe or move João Pedro to Wood or Delap. Best 4.5 million defender. 4.5. Pinnock's quite good right now, I think. If you want a Brentford defender, Carwell, someone like that. There's not really, I would say, like a massively amazing standout 4.5. Which is also a little bit of a worry of doing Trent to a 4.5, like having 3 of them. It's probably not going to get me many points every week. Play Smith Rowe, who has got, let me see here. Oh, Man City away. But after that, the fixtures are pretty good. I'd almost rather move João Pedro, I think. Maybe not to Chris Wood, though. Van der Ven 4.5, yeah, not a bad shout. It's actually a really good shout with Spurs fixtures. Don't mind that at all. I wouldn't expect him to get too many assists. Although that is his second assist this season, I think. After Arsenal versus Southampton, would you be tempted to do Saka to Palmer? Probably not, because Palmer's going to have Liverpool away in game week 8 and Saka will have Bournemouth away. Maybe after that, possibly. As part of the double transfer, Saka to Trossard. Again, I don't know why you would sell Saka. It's around this time when I stopped taking FPL seriously. Top 10k dream gone. There's still potential. Although I think I'm already like 100 points off it or something like that. Which is probably even more now. I'm waiting on Eze price to drop some more before his fixtures turn. Yeah, he should drop soon. He was very close when I was wildcarding. Smith Rowe and Robinson to Mavididi and Rico Lewis. They've got some okay fixtures after Man City. I wouldn't rush into it. Eze is a hard keep. He's gone. But who are you selling him for? This is my main problem, right? Is once you... So for like Bruno Fernandes down to like the 5.5s, like not many of the players really stand out that much. Like Brennan Johnson's probably fine. Garnacho's fine if he keeps playing. I mean, look at Savio. People were talking about taking him as a punt. I even looked at it as well. Then he didn't start. There's just not that many. Like Mavididi. Is it really worth using a transfer to do Smith Rowe to Mavididi? Yeah, McNeil's good, but like he's really cheap. I'm talking about like the £7 million bracket. Like, and Burmo's great. Just with Eze, where'd you go? Yeah, Trossard maybe not a bad move, but I feel like with Arsenal players, that the longer you leave it, the worse that gets. -4 for a 1 week punt. I probably wouldn't do that. Yeah, Madison is putting up really good numbers. I don't mind him as an option. Foden possibly. There's a little bit of it's almost like a bit of a leap of faith because you can't be guaranteed he's going to start. He didn't start again this weekend, but he's got to be getting close now. Nick gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. I'm currently ranked 1004, hence why I was looking at the move of Smith Rowe and Robinson to Mavadini and Rico. Fixtures look great. As long as Rico keeps starting, he's better than Robinson. But I'm telling you now, during that first half of Man City, lots of Rico Lewis owners would have been looking at it thinking, is he going to come off at half time? He didn't play bad, by the way. There's just always that little bit of worry. And already now, as a Rico Lewis owner, I'm already thinking, will he actually start against Fulham? I don't really know. Should I just start Pinnock for safety? And that's the problem with owning him. But yeah, if he keeps playing, he's a really good price. Would you drop Cole for Son from 8 to 11? I mean, I just look stupid if I say yes, don't I? You could definitely consider it, but I'd really want to... Like, if Palmer does amazing next week again, he's just a good pick the whole way through. Depends when you're wildcard, and I think like he could just be a long-term hold. Wait and see what Son's fitness is looking like. Son's fixtures are a little bit better at 8. I've got a feeling I would just keep, not mess around with it. Diaz and Trent to Palmer and Van der Ven, 2 free transfers, wildcard 6. Do you know what? I've got to think about Van der Ven. People have, yeah, that might not be a bad shout. It won't feel great not having Porro. You've really made me think about that. I don't hate that move. I've got to be honest with you. If I bring Van der Ven in though, will he get injured? Will he pull a hamstring or something? Yeah, that's a really nice shout. I don't think it's a move that I would do this, but then I don't want to bring Palmer in before Liverpool away. I might even do a double move. Maybe I'll wait a week and do Trent to Van der Ven and Son in, and then get Palmer afterwards. That's quite tempting. Get Palmer in 12. Yeah, maybe that's the move. Although by that point, I might not be able to afford it if Palmer keeps going up in price. Yeah, until I did this stream, I hadn't even thought about Van der Ven. It's always tricky doing things live like straight after a game because you haven't really given everything. It's like a reaction stream, so you haven't really given everything massive thought. But yeah, kind of. No, I'm not losing faith with Trent. I just want a nice replacement for Bruno Fernandes, and Trent's the easiest way to get the money. And the fixtures for Liverpool, I don't think scream clean sheets to me either, but we'll see. Is this your worst start to FPL? Have you made bigger comebacks? I don't have all my overall ranks from previous seasons saved, but I'd probably say this has got to be one of the worst. Like last season, I was like 1.5 million after game week 8, 9, or 10 or something like that. So possibly. You really need to look at Leif Davis. But the problem is I've gone for Greaves. There's no way I'm doubling up on the Ipswich defence. I think if you haven't got Greaves, then yeah, Leif Davis, they've got some nice fixtures coming up. I don't mind it. But I won't be doubling up on Ipswich defence. I think that's nuts. People need to remember the wildcard is putting in place points for upcoming game weeks. This game week doesn't determine if it was good use or not. If you want to max points in 1 week, play the free hit. Yeah, absolutely. But it's also nice if you can get good points the first week. Because whatever points now I get over the next 3 or 4 are just recouping the damage from this week now, which is, again, it happens. It happens. I generally, though, it doesn't feel as bad as it probably should. I feel like weeks where you massively go against one player and they absolutely smash you and you fall in rank. So your team's done all right overall, but just one player has hurt you. Like those weeks feel worse because everything's gone wrong this week. It almost doesn't feel as bad. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't make sense. Like, nothing's gone well this week. So it's like, how can you be annoyed at certain things? You might as well just laugh it off and go the next week. Thoughts on Dibbling in a rotation with Dunk? It's all right, I guess. How many minutes did he get this week? Haven't double checked. Also, they haven't played yet, have they? Yeah, they haven't played yet. It's tomorrow. Possibly. Let's see after tomorrow. Is it the right time to make Palmer triple captain in Game Week 7? Probably not. Then again, I said that to my son this week. And he went and got 4 goals. It's funny how I picked all the players I wanted and I dropped from 900k, from 100k to 1 million. Yeah. Yeah. It will happen. Like, that's the thing with FPL. You get the highs, but you also get lows like this. There's really not much you can do about it. And the thing is, because it's a wildcard week, you've spent all week looking at various different drafts. So, like, sometimes it was only for brief periods, but I've had McNeil in wildcard drafts. I've had Palmer. I had Vardio. In fact, someone was messaging me on Saturday morning asking what my current wildcard draft looked like. It was like 8:54 a.m. on WhatsApp, and the draft I sent them had Vardio and not Lewis. And obviously, I'd be up on like only a few points. I get it, but do you know what I mean? That was one of like 20 different drafts. There's no point worrying about it. The name Dibbling just puts me off. He could be amazing value. Sepp Vandenberg, good point. He started. In fact, I'm going to make a note of that because I need it for a video. Do I think Lewis will start again? Hopefully, but the honest answer is I don't know. And you're going to have that every week. 8 Nuri is a good shout for 4.5 with Wolves fixtures turning. I think he's actually 4.4. I think he dropped in price. So, yeah, 4.4 million. But I'd still want to wait until game week 10 because like 2 of the next 3 are away, Brentford and Brighton. I know he just scored against Liverpool, but Brentford and Brighton and City is the home game. So I think he's still worth a wait. I get that, but your squad will have nailed minutes, yeah, and no current injury concerns. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, apart from my squad, you're right. Saving transfers down the line, that's what the wildcard is all about. That was the plan, yeah. I was hoping to sit back and relax for like 2-3 game weeks. And now I can't do that. Is Sancho a good shout? I mean, what's he got now? Like 3 assists? 4 assists? By the way, now, don't lynch me, Chelsea fans. I've only seen one replay on a YouTube video, and it wasn't that clear. Did anyone else think the penalty that he won was super soft? Like, I kind of get why it was given and why it wasn't overturned. It feel like he went down quite easily. But maybe there was a lot of contact. I couldn't really see it from the replay I saw. But anyway, Sancho's probably fine. I've said this for weeks now. I've got no interest in Chelsea players apart from Palmer and maybe Jackson. Because I feel like they're nailed on. And look, Sanchez has started twice in a row now, and his minutes are going up a little bit. He's getting better, but at any point he could just get taken off, and that's what I just don't like. I feel people have been sleeping on the number of cards dished out this season. A playing bench is a good safeguard against bans. Yeah, I like having a deep squad. Now, do I wish it was a little bit cheaper so I could afford Palmer and Son easier? Maybe, but overall I think it's good. Was this game week one with the most penalties awarded so far? I actually don't know. Not sure what the stats are on that. I wish Bruno had got a penalty though before he got sent off. Quite a few people are almost at the yellow card ban and it's only game week 6. Let me see here. If I go to all players and yellow cards. Yeah, like Cucurella Cucurella and Fofana for Chelsea are only 1 away from a suspension. Ruben Dias, Martinez, Byrne, Kilman, 8 Nuri. 8 Nuri. Looking at him for game week 10, he could be 1 yellow card away. Like midfielders, probably not too many that we're going to actually be looking. Like Semenyo is on 2 already. Nicholas Jackson's on 2. The Lap's on 2. I mean, players on 2, I wouldn't massively worry, but I do agree that having at least a couple of bench players on, at At least a couple of players you can bring on from the bench is pretty decent. What do I think of Mikalenko? Decent enough for the price. 4.3. Everton, good fixtures. Nothing wrong with him. But again, not someone you're going to be rushing out to buy. But if you need him as part of another move, why not? Why not? Amused that Bowen seems like a good option for the next few games, and yet he's set to drop in price because he hasn't got points. Is Bernardo Silva a good option? Bernardo Silva for me is one of those players that just is great. Like, he's an amazing player, but I just don't think he's ever that good for FPL. Like, the underlying numbers are always pretty low. He doesn't create a huge amount of chances. He doesn't have many shots. Just wouldn't bother with it personally. How much did I fall in ranked? Yeah, 2 million places as well. The Kudus punt has gone horribly wrong. I mean, everything feels like it's going wrong at West Ham in general. But like Kudus at the moment, if you look at the minutes, like 45 in game week 6. I mean, to be fair, he's played 90 minutes pretty much every other game. But again, he's another player where like people say, you know, this is a season for no data and eye test, but Kudus is one of those players that everyone will tell you passes the eye test, but the stats will tell you he doesn't create many chances at all, and he doesn't really generate that much expected goals because he hardly has any decent shots from decent positions. So that's why I said that in pre-season, didn't I? That Kudus I was kind of conflicted on because you watch him and he's great. The numbers just don't back it up at all, though, for FPL. Like, I'm sure there's some stuff, like there is some stuff he does that's great for a football team, but in terms of FPL, it's not really there. If you was to sell Eze, who's the best option? Depends how much money you've got, but I'd probably go to Brennan Johnson, which I know feels a bit knee-jerky because he's just scored. But he's in a good run of form. His minutes look good. The Spurs fixtures are decent. If it had to be Eze's price or less, that's what I would go for. I said, well done for fronting up. I'm not going to miss a stream because I have a bad game week. Like, I've been doing this for 7 years now. Like, someone tagged me earlier about like all the comments, and like there's been hundreds of messages already since that Bruno red card. Like messages, tweets, comments on YouTube. Like it'd be nice to not have to read it all, but I literally talk about FPL for a living. Like, life could be so much worse than what it is for me. Like, Bruno Fernandes has got a red card. Like, life goes on, you know. I'll just move on to game week 7, keep him. By the way, I'm in two minds, right? Part of me thinks if he gets a 3-game ban, perfect. I can just finally free myself of him. But I also think it would be amazing if he only gets a 1-game ban or none at all, and I can just keep him, and we can just keep this going. Because if he was available for game week 7, I wouldn't be getting rid of him. Reddit went off when Bruno went off and everyone mentioned you. It's nice that so many people are thinking about me. It's nice that so many people are thinking about me all the time. The thing I find really funny is the people that like sprinted to like YouTube to laugh at the red card and then called me obsessed. Considering a punt to Foden as a differential, if you think he's going to play, Foden's great for the next 3. What do you think of Strand Larson 5.5? Maybe a steal. Again, I think for Wolves players, you really should be waiting until game week 10. I mean, the next two out of 3 aren't bad for an attacker, but yeah, game week 10 onwards. He did go off quite early, though, didn't he, this week? Let me find him here. Yeah, 67, 64 minutes the last 2 games. Realistically, Cunha's the one you want. Cunha's the one you want for 6.5 million, I think. Just a bit more expensive. If you could do a spin on your swivelly chair and it meant Bruno didn't get the red card, would you do it? Absolutely. I'd love to keep him. People are obsessed with telling you you're obsessed. I know, it's crazy. And the thing that, again, I know I've said this a few times now, the thing that frustrates me the most about the red card is that he just didn't get a proper chance to do anything for the rest of the game. especially when like again Diaz blanked. Like Diaz was such a massive transfer in again this week, and so to go against like that when all the noise is coming for him, everyone wants you to put him in, and then to get the red card and not even get a proper chance to outscore him, it hurts a little. Well, not hurts. That's the wrong word. It's just frustrating. Bruno was so OP at the Euros because he's not playing for Man United. Probably helps. Three-game week plan for you. Bruno to Dibbling. I can already tell I'm not going to do this. Bruno to Dibbling, Calvert-Lewin to Watkins, and Lewis to Porro. No. I'm not interested in getting Dibbling, really. Possibly at some point, but I don't see it. Again, you're using 3 transfers and not even thinking about like Son or Palmer, I don't think. Your team looked great before the deadline. I was tempted to wildcard something similar. By the way, I did the same in Game Week 4. I saw people's wildcard teams and was thinking, do you know what? They do look amazing. They probably hold up pretty well over the next few weeks. I might go for it. And also, if I'd wildcarded in 4, I wouldn't have gone for Bruno either. And then wildcard 4 has probably done all right, to be honest. But the team that I would have gone for in Game Week 4 wouldn't have done that well. So afterwards, I was quite glad I didn't do it. And now I'm wishing I hadn't wildcarded in 6 either because I didn't really need it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. We just move on to Game Week 7 and hopefully get some points. And this always happens, right? The weekend, you got this big reaction. It feels really bad. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to go sleep tonight. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to make a video about FPL. And then I'm going to forget about FPL for the rest of the day. And then I'm going to do that on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, the hope will be back. There'll be hope that my team will get some good points. And then we go again. And hopefully I can break into the top 3 million. Oh, that'd be nosebleed territory. If Bruno hauls in your team, he deserves to go straight on the Wall of Legends. It's not going to happen with Ten Hag. Honestly. I think Man United are in a really bad place right now. Pulled the trigger on Wildcard 8 transfer May. Will I regret it? Possibly. If it goes as well as mine, it will. What website do you use to track the yellow cards? You can see it on the FPL page. If you just go to the transfer page and go sort by, it's on total points, but you can click on yellow cards instead. Bruno wasn't even a bad pick. I wouldn't pick him personally, but there was upside. SHIT happens. Can't wait for his haul. Yeah, look, I also don't think he was a terrible pick. I'm not going to sit here and argue that with anyone, though. If like people didn't want him, that's fine. But yeah, I think he was fine. Also, it's like massive differential. He's only like 4% owned. With good fixtures coming up. But it doesn't matter now. My cousin took Palmer out for Diaz to follow the trend. He's had so much abuse from the family chat, he's left the group. Ouch. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. Some people sold Palmer for Saka this week. Not great. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there because I feel like I've probably just... we've probably talked about everything we're going to talk about now. And I think talking about Bruno anymore is just not good for any of us. And there's lots of... I've only just arrived. Has the whole stream been about Bruno? I actually think I did pretty well on dodging Bruno for the most of the middle of the stream. We talked about it at the start. We talked about it at the end. But the middle of the stream, I think, was pretty good. Maybe people like the Bruno stuff. I don't know. But anyway, as always, thank you for joining me. If you have enjoyed that stream, make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with early thoughts tomorrow, transfer tips on Tuesday, game week preview on Wednesday, team selection on Thursday, final thoughts on Friday, and then deadline stream on Saturday. And then we'll look forward to a bit of Carsley ball instead. So yeah, thanks for joining me. It was actually all right. It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We got the Bruno stuff out of the way. Happy days. Thanks for watching. I was going to say good luck with your game week. We've got another week to go for that. Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm off to get a cookie. My missus has just made cookies. So I'm going to have one of them, put this up on podcast, and then go. Yeah. Thanks very much. See you later.